Welcome back. Now this video is for you computer guys and gals who want to see more computer videos. So I don't want to disappoint you guys since you're my more loyal viewers, most loyal viewers. So I decided we're going to put some effort into this old Compaq LTE. I went on eBay and I picked up a few things. I've been buying parts for this as they come available. I'm still on the lookout for a CD-ROM drive, and unfortunately I missed an auction for one by about a couple of days. 30 bucks I think it sold for. But not to fret. I found an OEM power supply. Let's take a look at that. I have a power supply that works, but it's actually a Toshiba power supply. And it has some fraying of the cord. So I thought it would be nice to have a genuine Compaq power supply. So here's that. Here's the cord. This is the brick. And yeah, it's the right one. Looks like. This is used, but that's okay. You're never going to find a new one for one of these unless it's new old stock, and I don't think there's any of those left. The cord is in pretty good shape, it looks like, so let's plug it in. And we're going to clean this up. This is kind of dirty looking, so we're going to clean it up too. Get that out of there. Looks like it's been in this bag for a long time. Yeah. Sad. But I'm just glad I was able to find it. Because, again, these are very hard to find. And the LTE series is at a point in its life where it's starting to gain collector status. And I think that's really what's going to happen to a lot of vintage laptops as they become older and harder to find. Now, I'm going to have to find a small towel to put on the, have anything in my laundry basket. Alright, well, maybe I don't have to worry about it. We gotta do one other thing here. Now this is why we're making the video. So let's test up this power supply, see how it works. And I'm gonna start looking for a battery for this at some point. Okay, looks like we got power. Now the next thing I want to look at is the LCD status display on this thing, which doesn't really work anymore. It has most of the icons out. Oh yeah, we've got to get a new CMOS battery too. That'll be my next purchase. But most of the icons on this display are out, which is pretty common. Want to continue. The disk access icon is out. Caps lock. Power status. I know that the battery indicator comes up, but most of these are no longer functioning. So I went and I know this is a shot in the dark. It was 10 bucks. I figured it was worth a shot. I picked up another display. Now, I also want to mention that in an earlier video, we actually did some repair work to the display cable. And I forgot to shoot it, unfortunately. I made the video, but I lost all the footage. So here is another status display. Is this new old stock? I think it might be. It looks to be in really good shape, and it's even got a little protective film on it too. Oh, that's super bizarre. But here it is. We're going to plug this in and see if it fixes our little problem. I have a feeling it won't, but it's worth a shot. So the problem with these displays, and this happens on all the LTEs with the LCD status display, the contact strip right over here, there's nothing behind it to secure it when the adhesive begins to degrade. There's nothing to secure it to the panel. So these contacts begin to separate and you start dropping icons. Like For example, yeah, caps lock is definitely out. It doesn't work anymore. I mean, the caps lock button works, but it doesn't show up as being engaged. Num lock works. Scroll lock works. Oh, that didn't work the last time I turned it on. It's like they come and go, you know. And I'll show you what we got here. There's also different power settings that should be showing up as well. And none of those are showing up now. It's like a total gamble as to what will and will not work on this display. Why does it matter? Well, it's a collector's item. And I'd like to have a fully functioning example of an LTE 5000 series. No other reason. So we're going to shut it down. We're going to give this laptop a little bit of attention. It needs it. It deserves it. For those of you who follow my channel, I bought this at Hamvention 2013. I paid like $20 for it, and I had it shipped back to New Hampshire with all the equipment that we had with us. I was with John Bachman, the former owner of Anatech Corporation. We were doing an expo of all the products that he sells, and it was a very successful event, I might mention. But it was the first and last one that he ever went to, because he was killed tragically afterward. And let me go get a screwdriver kit and I'll get this thing opened up. And we're back. Okay, so we're going to open this up. I just bought a new set of mini screwdrivers, and we're going to be using those. This aside. Compaq was one of the few manufacturers to use Torx and flat blades compatible screws. They did this on their laptops and their desktops. I think they're one of the only companies to do that. Oh wait, no, HP did too. HP definitely did the same thing for a number of years. In the early days. So yeah, you can open this with a T8, or yeah, T8 or a flat blade. Recommending the T8 option because it's more precise. Alright, so we're going to get all the keyboard screws out. I think there's only those. And oh, no, I got to take them out of here too. Or do I have to? I think I just need to get the rear cover off, and that's about it. And for that, I don't think I need to pull the keyboard completely. No, I don't. I don't have to pull the keyboard. I can just go like this. There we go. Alright. Let's pull the display out. Just held in by 2 screws and a cable connection. That's it. And we want to gain or regain some of our lost icons. If I gain back one more, I'll consider this a success. But as it stands today, this display only works when it wants to. And it's a very common problem. In fact, even a new old stock display is probably going to have the same issue. But I have hope that we'll be able to make this better by swapping in a different one. I'm optimistic sometimes. I shouldn't be so optimistic because that gets expensive. Unfortunately, nobody can sell me one that's been tested because, I mean, who's going to test it, right? So this was sold to me untested, but it does have a warranty, and they will they will either refund my money or exchange it for another one if it doesn't work. Those are the terms of the sale. So if it doesn't work, I'll be like, hey, give me my money. Alright, let's put that in there. The cable should be locked down there. Be like Stewie Griffin. Give me my money. Got my money? Got my money? Give me my money. No, I'm not like that with eBay sellers. There's no point. I try not to be a pest. But if you sell me something that doesn't work, yeah, I'm going to want my money back. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, pretty standard issue practice. All right, let's plug it in. Let's see what we got. I think this laptop has been repaired more times than I can even count. I've had to do a lot of different repairs on this very laptop over the years. The most recent being the display. The LCD display had an issue where it would cut out certain colors and it was getting all weird and lines and stuff. And what I found was there was a poor contact strip that needed... What the hell did I do to fix it? I think I just added more material behind it to put some pressure on it. It was a good and permanent repair, but it's like, damn. Whoa, we got them all back. Look at this. It's got a couple of segments out. Here, let me show you what it looks like. It's better. We got almost everything back. Except for... Let me shut it down real quick. Check this out. I've got the power key held down. Yeah, shut off, please. Check this out. Alright, let's wait for the hard drive to spin down. Here we go. Okay, we got 2 battery indicators out, but we've got everything else. Yeah, the disk seek icon is back, hard drive icon is back. Power indicator is back. This tells you whether you're plugged in or not. Okay, we've got the speaker icon. No charge indicator. Oh, there's no battery in there, that's why. That'll do it every time. But yeah, we've got 1 or 2 battery status segments out, but I'm not going to make a big deal out of that, honestly. I'm surprised it works as well as it does. So that's a definite improvement. So let's test the power settings and see what those bring. Here we go. Now, what I need to do still is I'm still looking for a CD drive. I don't know if anybody has one. So let's see, caps indicator, scroll lock indicator. You gotta hold down the function key for those. So let me put the camera back on the stick. Let's lower it down and get a better view. There we go. That's better. I had it way up there. No need for that. Okay. Triangle. Tilt adjustment, zoom. Okay. We got scroll lock, caps lock is on, num lock. Good. And F4. Oh, you need a display connected for that. F5. Mute, on, mute, on. Okay, that's our sound function. F7. Okay, so we have 2 power status segments out, but we have the I forget which one that faucet is. So yeah, we've got a couple of segments out for that. I know the security lock, if it had that turned on, that was enabled. I saw that in the startup test. What if I put a battery in it? Where's my battery? There's my battery. Gotta get a battery for this thing. For fun. Okay, that works. The battery icon shows up. Now if I put this in the other bay, to do that I just need to open that up like that. Now it'll fit in the other bay. See what that does. And it shows up. Well, I hear some static. Oh, there we go. It wasn't locked in. Okay. Yeah, So we've got a few power status icons out, but disk seek and hard drive seek are both back in the chain gang. Let's put the floppy drive back in. Okay. Why don't we shut her down again? I'm going to do another power on test. The Windows 98 or 97 jungle 95 jungle sounds turned on. You know, for the effect and all that. I'm going to just put it back together and let's see if it stays working after reassembly. Make sure I got everything tucked away. Don't want to break any more cableage. There we go. So yeah, this laptop is identical, make and model, that McLaren was using and is still using to this day to modify the ECUs on some of their older products. And there's a lot of controversy over that because, well, they're not exactly making Compaq LTE 5000 series parts anymore. And they can't seem to figure out how to get their software to run on any other computer. Now, that doesn't make sense to me because, I mean, as I see it, ooh, gotta be careful. That battery latch, you gotta slam it in there to get it to lock. Anyway, so yeah, the problem is, you know, they don't seem to know how to get their serial interface to work on another computer. It all seems kind of weird to me, but, you know, that's that. Because, I mean, if I need parts for this laptop, I know where I can't get them. I mean, you can't go to Compaq for these parts anymore, obviously. But as I was saying, McLaren is still depending on this laptop, this model, and I'm sure it's causing them a lot of anxiety. What they need to do is hire someone who knows what they're doing to, you know, set up a modern computer with a serial interface, maybe some emulators, if need be. But, yeah. It was a big story on Jalopnik. If you look at, if you Google like McLaren computer, you'll probably find the article. So, the trick to this battery is you got to kind of drop it in. Let me point my camera closer to where I'm working. There we go. You got to go like this. And that should pretty much, and pull test it. My old LTE that I had back in high school did the same thing. And I can't tell you how many times it fell out of the machine while I was in school or whatever, transporting it. Anyway, let's plug it back in again, and let's make sure that we didn't just have some short-term success and a lifetime of failure. So here we go. I'm going to point the camera back. We're going to do a quick power-up sequence. I'm in the market for a CMOS battery. I found one. 25, 30 bucks, I think, is what it's going to cost me. Yeah, we're good. Now all the battery icons are up and running. All right, let's pull the power here. All right, let's try that again. Yeah, this time all the battery icons showed up. So I don't know what to think at this point. But we're better off than we were before. So we got that one. We got two battery power icons out. Let me rephrase that. That's not what I meant to say. We have two power management. So there's three settings: high drain, low drain, and no power management at all. I think are the three settings. And yeah, at this point we've got a couple of those out. Now, if I gently twist the old one, I should be able to see what those icons would have looked like, but I can't. Yeah. Anyway, so I got this old one still, and I've tried fixing this one with no success. No bueno at all. But I'm gonna hang on to it. I'm not gonna throw it out. Or hell, maybe I will. Nobody wants you anymore. So we've got a nice power supply for it. We've got a nice new display, status display for it. And what next? What else are we going to do? New CMOS battery. I'm going to order that now that I got all this fixed up. I'm going to get the battery rebuilt, and I'm going to freaking use this thing. I'm going to bring it to Starbucks, and I'm going to order some expensive, ridiculous coffee, and I'm going to sit there like a douchebag using a 20-year-old laptop because I can. Because I can. See what they say. And walks up, what the hell? You know, like, you know, they're all sitting there with their you know, their $2,000 MacBooks, and here I am with a 20-year-old Compaq LTE. Maybe I'll do it after I finish building the grass-covered car, just so I can make myself even more of a social outcast than I already am. That sounds like fun. I think I'm going to do that. Alright, well, this is it, and stay tuned for more. I've got other stuff coming your way. So anyway, I'm going to take the battery back out again just to check something out here. It feels kind of light. In fact, what the hell? There's like nothing in it at all. I wonder what happened there. Maybe it depleted itself. I don't know. Oh, right. Yeah, that happened. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've gutted the battery. How did I do that? Well, fortunately this is not a genuine Compaq battery. This is an Energy Plus replacement battery from, does it have a year on it? It doesn't really say. But it's been in there for about a little more than a decade and a half, if not longer than that. But so being in a refurb battery, it's kind of cheaply made. It's not really, the case isn't you know, hermetically sealed or anything. So I was able to crack the adhesive. In fact, I even cracked the case here, just getting it pulled apart. But that's okay, because I was able to pull all the cells out in situation as installed. Let's take a look inside here. So this isn't supposed to open up like a door. It just cracked that way. But I'm going to fix it all later. Don't worry about a thing. You can fix anything with glue and putty and adhesives and solvents and all kinds of crazy things like that. But anyway, what I wanted to do was determine if the pack is even rebuildable, if I can still get cells for it. So how do you do that? Well, number one, these cells do not identify what they are. They're a mystery box at this point. We don't know what they are. We don't know what their capacity is. We don't know what their voltage is. We know nothing. So we have to do a little bit of investigative work to get to that conclusion. And based on the information given on the pack itself, it says it's a 12-volt, 3,500 milliamp hour battery. Well, that shouldn't be too hard to figure out. So one of the things you want to do is make sure that they're actually wired in series and not in parallel. Or you have a couple of them in series and then another couple more in series and then they're parallel, and it's just, yeah. What you want to do is figure out if they're wired for amperage or for voltage. So let's do that. So let's follow the bird down the rabbit hole. You got your positive lead here, and then follow it, boom, 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 boom. And then it goes to this one, and then bam, back to here, and so on and so forth. So they're wired in a row, or in series. If they're wired in parallel, we'd be multiplying the amperage. If they're wired in series, we're multiplying the voltage. So then you got to figure out how many batteries you have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 batteries. So you got 10 cells. Rated for 12 volts. What's 10 divided by 12? That's 1.2. So each cell is rated for 1.2 volts. Now, the 3,500 milliamp hour rating, or 3.5 amp hour, is pretty easy to figure out because one of these cells, because of the way they're wired, that amperage is carried across the board. It's not multiplied. So what we know now is that we have a battery that is rated for 3.5 amp hours, or somewhere up or down from that number, and 1.2 volts. What we need to now do is figure out what size it is. So we're going to need one of these. This is a digital caliper. and we're going to zero that out. You can pick one of these up for 10 bucks at Harbor Freight. They're not the best of quality, and well, they have a unique feature that causes them to drain the battery down even when they're off, so you got to take the battery out when it's not in use. But it's accurate enough to get the job done for what we're doing. So let's measure the length of the battery. What do we got here? If the battery is charged, you're going to want to put tape or something on the tips of your caliper and then zero it out again. Just FYI. But these batteries are stone dead, so I'm not worried about shorting anything out. Okay, battery is roughly 66.51 millimeters. I say roughly because there's a variance. When you go to size it up to a new battery, there's going to be a variance of a millimeter here or there, or a point, maybe a fraction of a millimeter. And so we're going to call this, 67 millimeters. In fact, I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this is 67 millimeters, and as you can clearly see, it's pretty damn close. Now we're going to measure the diameter. Close up our caliper, boink, 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 and we're going to measure the diameter. The diameter is roughly 16.74 millimeters. In fact, I think that's a little off. Let's try that again. It's going to go by the nearest whole number, so about 17 millimeters or so. So 67 by 17 is roughly the size we're looking for. So let's go and figure out what it is. So we also need to figure out whether it's lithium ion, nickel metal hydride, NiCad. LiPo or lithium polymer batteries are those flat ones that they use in modern electronics. But up until about 10 years ago, these were pretty much the standard form factor for a battery. And yes, they were fairly universal. Most laptop batteries would have something like this. They're a standard sized battery, lithium ion, NiCad, etc. But the size would be an industry standard in the battery industry. Not something you would go to Walmart and pick up for a few bucks. Unfortunately, that is a pipe dream. Yeah, if I could just go to even Batteries Plus and buy these, which they don't sell these. I looked into it. So we want to figure out what size the battery is. So what I did is I just did a quick Google search for nickel metal hydride battery size chart. And I got a couple of hits. Here's one, size chart, allbattery.com. And we're going to click on that link there. And this is going to bring us a nice little chart that shows us look at all these battery sizes. Quadruple A. Of course, there's double A and triple A. We all know about those, but there's fractional. Half, quarter, 2/3, triple A, double A. It goes on and on. Look at this. Look at all these battery sizes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find out, we're going to use the length as our actually no, we can use the diameter. So it looks like they're listed in order of diameter. So we have about 17 millimeters. And then you narrow that down, 17 millimeters, 67 millimeters long, 17. So there's a couple of choices, a 4/3 4/3A or an LA. What is the difference between them? Well, let's take a look. Let's see. It has the weight and NiCad or nickel metal hydride, but it doesn't show the voltage. Now, I thought I found a chart that actually did show the voltage. Well, we know that battery is the right size. So now we're going to do a search for LA 1.2 volt battery. So let's do another search. Alright. L-A 1.2 volt. I already have it saved. 3 points. We don't know what the amperage, so we're going to leave that blank. We know it's roughly 3.5 amp hours, but we know it's an LA 1.2 volt. So let's see what we can find. I found one on DigiKey's website. It turns out Panasonic still makes this battery size. And here we are. We found exactly what we need. There it is. The HHR 380A is Panasonic's part number. And let's see, 1.2 volt, 3.7 amp hours. So it's actually rated for slightly higher than what's stated on the battery pack. And it tells you what the quantity on hand is and the availability. View details. And this is where things get really depressing. It looks like if I buy a package of 10 of these things, they're going to cost me $5.67 a piece, or $56.70. Oh boy, that's going to be a lot of money, but not so much. I mean, that it is a bit pricey, a little more than I wanted to spend. Now, there's one problem. This battery does not include solder tabs, so we're going to have to solder our own. Now, when it comes to heat exposure to battery terminals, do understand that when they weld them with the tack welder, it does get pretty hot. In fact, it gets hotter than solder. But the contact duration is very short. In fact, these tabs here, they are tacked on using a jewelry welder, I believe, a jewelry tack welder, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure what the exact tool is called, but that's how they're done at the factory. Now, I have had good luck soldering wires to coin cells even, but it's not something that most people would recommend. But it can be done. Worst case scenario, you blow the battery apart. And if that's the worst case scenario, you could wind up with blown up fingers and all kinds of shit. But that's not going to happen since, you know, we're going to be very gentle with it. Now, I'm not ordering this battery right now. I just wanted to cover this part of the video just because. So, for the time being, we're going to leave the battery case in the laptop. Now, let's take a look at the rest of this, this whole mess here. So, we've got a couple of different items wired in series here. We have two devices. Now, this one here is actually a fuse. In fact, it's clearly marked SE fuse, or the manufacturer, and it should have the voltage rating on it and the amperage and whatnot. But it's 250 volt, 10 amp battery. Pretty impressive. 250 volt, 10 amp. Did I say battery? I meant fuse. 250 volt, 10 amp fuse right there. And that's there in case something happens. If the pack shorts out, bam. Now, this one over here is a thermal cutoff switch. If the battery pack overheats but doesn't short out, this will cut off the continuity. So, if anything happens over here, you're protected both with a fuse and a thermal cutoff. Now, what's all this? What's in here? We've got a couple of different things here, it looks like. A couple of resistors, a couple of diodes, a transistor. I don't know what these are all for. Oh wait, we have another one. Look at this. We've got another one. This is another thermal cutoff over here, it looks like. Or did I determine... I think these are both thermal cutoffs, actually. KLIX. Let's see what that is. Clicks on 4mm75C. I think that's 4mm75. Let's see if that comes up with anything. Clixon series battery pack dual overcharge and short circuit. So we're protected quite a bit. Look at that. That's what it is. It is a short circuit protector and an overcharge protector. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. I believe some of this circuitry is used to determine what the battery life is. Maybe charging cycles, perhaps. Although I don't believe these early nickel metal hydride packs did keep track of charging cycles. I'm not really sure that they did or did not. I couldn't tell you. But I think the answer is no. And that was more of a feature with smart batteries, smart lithium-ion batteries, but I could be wrong. Alright, so that's that. That's what's going on in here. We need to get some new cells. Let's see what the, what was the other size that came in that rating as well. There was a 4/4/3A. Same dimensions. A little bit heavier. 50, was that grams? Is it? Yeah, it's weighted in grams. It's a little bit heavier, but same dimensions. That was the 4/3A. Let's see what we can do here. 4/3A. 1.2 volt. It could be a different amperage rating. Okay. These actually have tabs on them. Look at this. And they're more plentiful. Here we go. 3,800 milliamp hour nickel metal hydride with tabs. Okay, this is a better choice. So it looks like it might be the same basic battery as the L-A. But this one here, has got tabs on it. I like that. And they're spot welded on both ends. And it's cheaper, $4.89 rather than 5 something. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, that's 50 bucks. I wonder if I can get them somewhere else. Looks like $3.99. $4, no tax, of course. Tabs, yes or no. Add 20 cents. That brings the price to, if I order 10, add to cart. Oh wait, that's a 7/5A. That's not what I wanted. But it's cheaper. With or without tabs. Specs. 2.6 inches long by 0.6 inch. Now let's measure our battery size in US standard. What is the length? Well, it looks like that'll fit. 2.646. Yeah, 2.6 by, let's see what we got here in diameter. By roughly 0.66. That'll fit. So there's another possible battery that we could use, a cheaper one with the tabs. I'm loving this. I bet I can get them even cheaper. Here's a 4,000 milliamp, a Sanyo. Oh, that's what we have. These are $7.86 and no solder tabs. Or no, those are 25 cents extra. So, just so you guys know, yes, you can rebuild these old batteries, and it's not going to cost you as much as a new one, necessarily. And if you buy the batteries from a legitimate battery reseller, you should be getting newer stock, rather than something that's been sitting on a shelf in a laptop battery store for 20 years. Alright, there we go.